March the 9th, 4:04. Izzy, could we get a roll call, please?
Yes. All right, hand it up. Sorry. Deborah Carter?
Here.
Kim Sella? Here. James Cotter? Ed James?
Here.
Yisha Rollins? Sorry.
Lisa, here.
Ben Samuels?
Here.
Jordan Sanders? James Neely? Patrick McKelvey?
Present.
Okay.
And I'll let you know if anyone joins in.
Okay, we have 6, so that should be the quorum. Anyone from St. Louis County or other in the room introduce themselves, please?
Richard
And
Hurd Days,
affiliation.
Chair of St. Louis County Council.
Thank you.
Joe Colessa, Deputy Director, Transportation and Public Works.
Okay.
Adam
Police Department?
Spector, St. Louis County Department of Transportation, Area Engineer.
Okay.
Brad Kelling, Captain over the Bureau of Transit Police.
Okay. And we got Jan. Okay. St. Louis Bi-State Redevelopment or Development.
Good afternoon, Chair. This is Talby Roach. I will hand off to Ron Forrest. Ron?
Good afternoon, Ron Forrest, Chief Operating Officer.
Good afternoon.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Tammy.
Good afternoon. This is Tammy Paris, Chief Financial Officer.
And I'm Tom Curran. I'm Executive Vice President of Administration for Bi-State.
Good afternoon, Director of Public Affairs, Melissa Webb, for Bi-State Development.
Thank you. Anyone else in attendance? Thank you. Need a motion to approve the minutes for the following meetings: December the 8th, 2025, January 12th, 2026, and February 9th, 2026. Do I have a motion?
Patrick
So
McKelvey, I'll
moved.
make that motion. Oh,
Do
I'll
I have
second
a
it.
second? Okay. Who made the motion, Patrick?
I did. Kim.
Yeah, okay. All those in favor? Aye, say aye.
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 Those who opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, report. St. Louis County offices. Anyone from county council? Councilwoman Days.
I do not have any report at this time, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Representatives from the Transportation Public Works Department.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say that our Riverview Great Streets project is progressing. We've got meetings set up this week to meet with property owners along the corridor to get feedback there. And we're aiming for a public meeting that'll be mid-April. That date hasn't been pinned down yet, but we're looking at like April 14th or 15th. And so I should have that information for the next meeting. Our Department of Planning is proceeding on the Spanish Lake area study. I believe they've just had their kickoff meeting late February. This weekend, they're doing a presentation for an economic development group. And so that's at this point, they've gotten through a commercial real estate report that they've got out, and things are progressing along with that study, and I'll let you know if I hear more about that when that time comes.
Okay. On the public meeting for the, where is that going to be held?
I believe that is going to be at Christian Hospital there at 270 and 367. But like I said, the plans are still kind of getting firmed up on that, but I believe that's the tentative location last I heard.
When you get the date and place, could you notify us, please?
Sure.
Thank you. Anyone else from public transportation? Okay. Was there anything on the the zoo projects?
Well, I think those are kind of tied in a little bit with the zoo. We don't have anything specific for the zoo. But because of the zoo, we're looking at that area to see what the needs are going to be, so that when we do get to the point of scheduling projects in that area, that we're building to what the need is going to be, rather than what the system actually is now, and then finding out that that's underbuilt for the development that comes with the zoo.
Okay, well, you just keep us updated on that, please.
Absolutely.
Okay. St. Louis County Police Department.
Good afternoon. Izzy, if you could bring up my slides, please. All right.
Everyone see my screen.
We see the faces, not the slides.
We don't see the
This one?
slide. There it is.
There we go.
Okay, I can actually be unmuted. So go ahead.
All right. There we go. For the month of February, we'll start on the this side of the river in Missouri. Next slide, please. Our numbers for the month of February continue to be trending down, which is a good thing. We had 2 instances of some assaults on the train, both of which involved our security guards being assaulted. Arrests were made in both cases. But again, year to date in the crimes against persons categories, we're down 55%. Next slide, please. Reference to crimes against property. We had 2 instances in the month of February. Oops, back on one. 2 instances in the month of February in our crimes against property category. One was a stolen backpack that was recovered, and the other one was a stolen firearm that we was able to trace back to a St. Louis case. Next slide, please. Our numbers in crimes against society continue to be down year to date. Next slide. And as far as our directed calls for service, again, most common call for service is a sick case, followed by a request by another agency for assistance. So those are our most prevalent calls. The addresses for most of our calls for service continue to be North Handley, followed by the Rock Road, Plymouth, and then Lambert. Next slide. As far as our self-initiated incidents, again, the officers are out there on the platforms and on the trains doing their extra patrols, foot patrols, pedestrian checks, hitting all the different platforms. And if you could bring up the other slide to the other side of the river over into.
Hey, Brett, could I stop you for a second?
Yes, sir.
Go back to a couple of screens, Izzy. That one there, is this the one, next one, one of the next 2. No, going the other way, going forward. That one, and then the next one. Right, is there some way that we can just put a street as opposed to street and address on these? These are public information. And if we can, you can list the street name or the location, but me personally, I prefer not to use the addresses.
Okay.
Or is that a problem?
I can I can blot them out. Those are the addresses for the different platforms. They're not a specific residence or
Okay.
home location, but those are all the, if you were gonna put it in your GPS, that's how you get to the North Hanley station. But yeah, I can work that out.
Or either change the titles or titles for platform locations or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
sir.
thought these were home addresses. I'm sorry.
No. These are all just our the platforms inside of St. Louis County. So yeah,
Okay.
we're not doing any calls for service locations at private citizens' homes.
Okay. Thanks for the update and
Oh,
information.
good question. Good question.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask a question while you did have a pause there?
Yes, you can.
On the, on all directed incidents number, you have 10 here. And I'm looking at where these are. The two particular, I'm concerned about handling. There will be two additional housing complexes going there. Have you made any kind of provisions for additional security or anything at those locations? Or do you think what the current staffing is will handle that?
So how that changes is our contract with Bi-State. That's actually a separate entity, and that is going to be managed by the Central County Precinct. They're going to be responsible for the actual patrolling of that complex.
Correct. I couldn't hear what you said. It's going to be managed by who?
That'll be managed by the Central County Precinct. Still part of St. Louis County, but that's not part of the Metrolink contract. We're still part of the platforms and the railways, but that complex will be, it's my understanding it's going to be managed by the Central County Precinct, all calls for service.
So that's a different, I guess that's different than the people that you hire for Bi-State. Those are two different entities, right?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Any other questions on these topics?
Oh, yes, one other one, please. I'm sorry.
Okay.
If you will go back to your crimes against persons and you have a category called simple and simple/other. What is simple / what does that mean?
So again, that can be anything other than just a transfer of liquids, spitting, those kind of, I don't want to say minor, biological agents are always a factor, but it's not involving per se a weapon. The assault intimidation down there, again, that's when you're making threats, but haven't carried out anything.
Okay, so this simple other is kind of like a catch-all.
Well, it is if it doesn't fall. If they're not using a weapon, hands, feet, dangerous instrument, knife, anything like that. Normally, it's they've done something. You could throw water, snowballs could fit into that category. Am I answering that for you well?
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Deborah.
Yes, go ahead, Deborah. I'm sorry.
Okay, I just have a question about the self-initiated incidents, and it looks like they've gone up since we last looked at them last month. And I'm just wondering, number one, is Central County aware of this? Are they involved with this, or what's their role?
So two different questions if I'm getting that. So the self-initiated incidents, the concern from the last time has gone up. Am I hearing that?
Yes.
Okay. So that's a good thing. So the self-initiated is officers out there being proactive. And again, this is most of their foot patrols, their extra train patrols, all those things. We want to see them out there engaging in out there and not sitting in their cars in a parking lot or at the station. So any of the top self-initiated, whether it's just a platform check or a train check, whatever it is, those are good numbers to see go up. I would, if they're down, I would feel more obligated to explain it more, explaining what we're doing in our downtime. So that's a good thing when you see that. And in reference to the building of the new, I'm sorry.
Let me just stop you with that. 'Cause I'm a little confused. I understand what you're saying, that it's a good thing because it means that they're actively patrolling. But when you look at the 82, and then you look at Lansdowne that has 4, your assumption would be that there's less activity at Lansdowne than there is at North Hanley, because it's got to be activity for them to have the 82, right?
Yes, part of that too, and I had made note to that earlier today. Some of this is not, I think we've got somebody that's not documenting this on our nights. Obviously, Day Watch and all of these are being covered. But for whatever reason, there seems to be a disconnect. They're not documenting their numbers on there for their foot patrols because they're hitting each of these platforms several times throughout their patrol shift.
Okay, thank you. I know this is not a question for you, but Mr. Chair, maybe next time we can, I'd like to get an idea of what the partnership is with Metro and the University Crossing. That's the new apartments out there. I think we've never really talked about it, but this is North Hanley and where we have all these incidents. So as a next meeting, can somebody kind of address that, what the partnership is, or if there is one?
Temperature, you just drop me an email on that. I'll make sure that we have it on the agenda for next month.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I was going to ask Ed a clarifying question going back to Chair Day's questions about North Hanley, Captain Kelly. Just to clarify, you're not reducing the amount of officers from the Metrolink task force at North Hanley, right? The University Crossing officers will just add additional officers around that station and development, correct?
Yes, that has nothing to do with our staffing here with the Bureau of Transit Police.
So in essence, there will be more officers around the North Hanley station with the new development.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, that was the clarification I was hoping for. Thank you.
I think that, yeah, I think that would.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think that will also go hand in hand with the request that Deborah had in terms of the collaboration and the partnerships. If I'm correct in that. So get some more information on that next month. Any other questions for the police department? Okay.
And I believe Captain had another thing to talk about, if that's correct.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks, Izzy.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
All right. Going over the locations again, these are all the platform locations over in Illinois. Again, we've got no major changes year to date from January through February. Emerson Park and Fairview Heights continues to be one of the busiest locations for the officers over there. But it's almost, you can see it's almost balanced out with their calls for service and their proactive policing. So and that's all I have to pass along from Illinois at this point.
Captain Kelly, Ed,
Go
can
ahead.
I ask one more question?
Sure.
Captain Kelly, do you have any information for us about the incident that happened this weekend with an object being thrown at the train?
Not at this point. It's still being investigated by the city. I have been told that they've determined what it was. I saw that on the news as well. But I will pass that information along as soon as we find out some more.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I thought to hear that. What about the incident over in I guess it was Fairview Heights or Illinois about the young lady in the train? Was at the Collinsville station. Well, she was from Collinsville, I'm sorry. Were hit by a train. Okay, I can send Izzy this information. I saw it on I guess a highlight of the news, and where a lady from Collinsville got hit by a train, Metro train. at the Emerson Parks station.
Okay, so yes, Chairman, I can discuss that if
I
you
wasn't
want. Or you
sure.
want me to do it next time, or what's
We
best
can
for
do
you?
it. We can do it when it gets to you. I wasn't sure what ballpark or what bag to put it in.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments for the bi-state department? I mean, county department, I'm sorry. Okay. Bi-state development, operations.
Okay. All right, there's a presentation. Izzy, are you gonna pull that up?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right, good afternoon again, committee members. I'm going to give you guys a quick snapshot of where we stand on our workforce. Can you go to slide 2, please? Okay, with the exception of Call-A-Ride, as you can see, we still have budgeted vacancies across multiple classifications. Our operator vacancies are down roughly 2%, and our maintenance classifications, of course, those remain our highest gap at over just 30% in one particular category, and that category just happens to be the maintenance personnel that work on our light rail vehicles. That said, though, we are seeing some progress and we're gaining some real ground. We're getting closer to our budgeted number of Metro bus operators. We have a total of 639, about 650 operators. And we started a class of 20 Metro bus operators today. So progress is being made. We're getting ourselves in a much healthier state. On the Metrolink side, we've significantly closed the gap, as you can see, and now we have only 3 vacancies. Call-A-Ride is currently over budgeted, but importantly, we are closer to that approximately 200 operators that we actually need to meet the demand. In maintenance, we filled all of our facilities electricians positions and are down just 2 of our general maintenance mechanics. But again, we still are significantly challenged in hiring those electromechanics. We continue to experience challenging hiring in that category. But we are, sorry, did someone have something?
No, sorry.
Okay. But we are, again, closer to a sustainable solution, much closer to a sustainable solution than we've been in years. And we will talk about that on the next slide. All right. So our hiring progress, you know, that's a real reflection of the coordinated effort that goes across Metro Transit and bi-state. We've been working with key partners to address our acute workforce shortage. Some of the things we're doing, we're streamlining our hiring process. We have a goal of cutting the application to offer timeline down from months to weeks. We've introduced Zoom interviews for operators to speed up applicant screening. And we've also increased Metro Bus and Call-A-Ride training class frequency from every couple of months to every 4 weeks. So we're turning out a lot of operators. We also preparing to launch our mechanic apprenticeship program. I've been talking about this for a long time, but we are finally, we got approval once the shutdown ended, and now we are building that curriculum out. So we're in the process of doing that. Again, that will allow us to go to those technical colleges and technical high schools to begin creating those the workforce pipeline. Our team has already started visiting those local technical colleges. They've been speaking directly with the students, and they've been generating a lot of interest in coming to work for us. So making some progress there. Next slide, please. All right. right, ridership. Ridership continues to move in the right direction. As you all can see, we're up over 6% system-wide across all modes. Call a Ride, as usual, continues to experience the most significant growth. That's up over 33%. Microtransit on-demand service, which operates exclusively in St. Louis County, is growing steadily. So ridership demand, it continues to get stronger. And as a result, the challenge is ensuring we have the workforce and operational strategies in place to keep pace with that demand. All right, next slide, please. Call a Ride. Okay, so what this slide shows is the relationship between operators, trips, and trip denials. And so what you're seeing is that our operator count it has plateaued over the last several months, but we have, I believe, 9 operators that are in class now, and we have another class starting next week. So, you know, those numbers continue to go up, but it has plateaued, and monthly trips continue to increase. But the good thing is that we aren't denying any of those Call a Ride trips. Okay. Next slide. All right, so how are we doing? Addressing, this is our plan to address the supply versus demand issue at Call a Ride. That remains one of our biggest operational challenges. So we're pursuing a combination of strategies. One is evaluating targeted transfers for some of our longer trips, having some sort of a trip limit before a transfer is required. We're looking at positioning our operators and vehicles at satellite locations closer to their pickup points. So most of our pickups occur out there in North County. One of those satellite locations that we're looking at is North County Transit Center. They're going to be closer to the action. They'll be able to get people faster and get them to their destination quicker, and they'll be able to start their next trips much quicker. We're also pursuing some federal funding that will help us pursue other options that relieve us of the demand that we're currently experiencing, that capacity demand. And we're doing that while we build up our workforce. So those dollars will be, finite. They won't be long term, but they will, we're hoping that it's going to be enough to give us some relief while we build our workforce up. And we're also modernizing our policies to ensure capacity isn't being wasted. So, we have some passengers on the Call a Ride side, they'll schedule their trips and then they'll cancel at the last minute. And so that's a wasted capacity for us, because if they had canceled a lot sooner, we could have redirected that capacity. So we're going from 3-hour call-offs to about an hour call-off, right? I'm sorry, from an hour call-off to 3-hour call-off.
Is there a fee for a late cancellation?
I'm sorry, say again?
Is there a fee or something for a late cancellation?
There isn't a fee, but there is a penalty. So they can only do it so many times a month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there is a penalty for that. And those penalties will get stronger as we need to save those resources and use them wisely. Other strategies include we're improving our routing software for Call a Ride. We want to make sure that it's able to do dynamic routing, make last minute changes, and optimize trip performance. We'll be continuing to use our overflow service through VIA and Lyft. Those are vendors that we contract. VIA provides our microtransit service, but they also provide between VIA and Lyft, about 10% of the Call a Ride capacity or Call a Ride trips that we can't take due to not having enough capacity. And of course, we're going to make building our workforce our highest priority, because, that's really going to matter. Now, we do recognize that addressing this concern, it requires a layered solution rather than a single change. So those are all of those layered solutions that we're thinking about. All right, next slide. Ride every route. It's been going on since I got here. It continues to be a success. We continue receiving valuable feedback from passengers and operators. We're identifying real opportunities. We've made several improvements to our service. We're able to do that with every pick, every quarter. We're nearly complete with riding every route as an initiative, but this won't be a one-time effort. Ongoing engagement, we know that is essential. So we're going to stay connected to those frontline realities and continue to be out there and riding with our passengers and speaking with our frontline workforce. All right, next slide. Service changes. We have one going in effect March 16th, next week. We have 26 Metro bus routes that'll see some improvements to their runtime, adjustments to the start and end times, and all of that is so that we can improve reliability. A lot of these improvements are as a result of the ride every route and hearing from passengers and hearing from operators. We're going to continue that. We're also preparing for the opening of Mid-America Extension. Testing along that alignment is scheduled to begin soon. So the plan is to have that open, sometime summer, fall. Okay, next slide. All right, upcoming events. So we just had a couple that were very successful, a couple of hiring events. We're preparing for another major job fair on April 11th at the North County Transit Center. These events are part of our continued push to strengthen our workforce pipeline across all of our classifications. Lastly, we have some transit collaborations going on with our partners, CMT. We're going to be doing a bus bench ribbon cutting in Belleville. And CMT is also going to be hosting a webinar on April 8th, and we'll be discussing methods transit advocates have successfully used to build community support for transit. Okay, all right, last slide. Well, that concludes my update, and I'll stand ready to take any questions you have.
Ron, one of the questions that came up about the Ride Every Route program is that what type of amenities are the riders asking for?
Oh, wow. Bus benches, bus benches, bus shelters, that's what we hear mostly. People want a place to sit and people want to be able to get out of the inclement weather. And so, I mean, and those are just really basic essentials that we should have. But that's what we hear most.
And we guess that's an ongoing problem and find some way to solve some of those problems. Those poles in the ground doesn't work.
Yeah, we are working with our partners to resolve those issues that we, that we can. Some effort, more effort is required in some areas, specifically in those county areas where the streets and sidewalks are less developed than in the city areas. But but we have our eye on it. We know that people want it, and we certainly want to make sure they have those amenities.
I guess at one point we got to show something that we are making progress on this somehow, somewhere. Thank you, sir. Any other questions for operations?
I do have one, Mr. Chair, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Rod, do you have any, has anyone expressed any concerns of safety as they ride? I know we've had several incidents here lately with that. Has that presented itself as a major concern? Not just major concern, let me back that up, as a concern, period.
We have had people express concern with safety, but we've had more people express that they feel safe. Some people do feel unsafe, but surprisingly, very surprisingly, our passengers, they're very comfortable with the service that we provide. And so I have not heard anything to any sort of hysterical pitch that people are concerned about safety. But you know, I mean,
So how do you quantify that? If you ride one bus and you don't hear anything, I mean, does that go system wide? How is that? How do you quantify that?
every bus we get on, we ask the same questions for the most part. And safety, hey, how do you feel? Do you feel safe on our system? You know, do you have any feedback about that? And so that's a question we ask everyone.
So now is that bus as well as Metro Transit rail?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other questions of operations? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Ron.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Roach.
Yes, sir. So let me get started. Mr. Chairman, you mentioned the Emerson Park pedestrian strike where that was at a normal grade crossing. I will tell you that we always do an after action report on any kind of safety issue like that is submitted to both the state safety oversight of both Illinois and Missouri to take a review of what we have to see. I will tell you in specific instance, the passenger had earbuds on, and that is never a good thing, and essentially walked in front of the train and was struck by the train with non-fatal injuries. But we always do review those to see what we can do. I wish I could prevent people from making mistakes. But in that case, we certainly did see some mistakes associated with that. But within the after action review, we will have third party officials. In this case, it would be the state safety oversight associated with Illinois, who will review that and will be sure that the conclusions are sound within. So I just want to give you that report, and that happens on every single security incident. We do after action reports associated with them. So I hope that answers your question, Chairman.
Yes, it does. I had another question, but that question or that answer answered both of them for me. Thank you.
Very good, sir. I see on my list there is a discussion of rate increases. So I'm just going to assume that is fare increases. So
yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yes, sir. So I want to refer everybody and really I hope that everyone has had a chance to see the Metro Transit Fare Policy Report that we forwarded to the entire commission and to the county council in February of this year. It's a very exhaustive report having to do with the Metro Transit Fare Policy and includes benchmarking summary of all kinds of different areas, including San Jose, Denver, Dallas, Minneapolis, Cleveland, Portland, New Orleans, Baltimore, Philadelphia, Atlanta. But in summary, it tells us that we have some space to do a fare increase. That is the general summary. And we are interested and will be moving forward with that in the summer of this year. Now, when we propose a fare increase, I have to go, of course, to this commission first, and I would have to also go to the county council and inform everyone of this. And that's as a normal procedure associated with the FTA regulations. In addition to that, we have to do what is known as a Title VI review of the fare policy to be sure that it is equitable across different regions and sectors of the region. And we will do that associated with our partners at FTA. And then as a third step, we have to go out to the public and hold public meetings and ask for feedback. All feedback will be taken, including, for instance, when we talk to folks and they were to say they have a comment on security or anything like that. We have to engage in that public process and be sure that we're recording all that associated with our partners at FTA. I think we have a good opportunity for a modest rate increase this year. Obviously, that helps our revenues. We are continuing to see good rate increases of ridership year over year. and that is very positive. We have seen actually very positive reports as Ron has reflected. Essentially, ridership is up, and security incidents are down. So that means that those two things are working in concert, and we hope that that trend will continue. So I want to pause there to be sure that there's not any specific questions, but I really, if you really want to see a detailed answer to this question, I really encourage everybody to look at that report that the commission has received. Okay.
Any questions? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to keep going. Then
Oh, yeah.
there is a mention on self-driving vehicles. We've discussed this before. I'll go ahead and do it again. So self-driving vehicles is as reference to trains or with our buses. Remember, trains are roughly $7 million a unit, and a bus is roughly $500,000 a unit. That means these are very valuable assets that we need to protect, and I do not see self-driving technology affecting them within the near term, simply because of the concerns of security and value of the assets. Our drivers do a great job. We have a represented workforce, a union workforce. Obviously, the union is interested in those jobs. They're good paying jobs. These are the folks who live in our communities. Dominant number of them live in St. Louis County, as a matter of fact, and they're really great folks, and I think we should continue to support them. Alternatively, one of the questions that came up with self-driving vehicles does have to do with, for instance, microtransit. And of course, we have a microtransit contract with VIA that serves exclusive to St. Louis County. This program is only in St. Louis County, and it is specific to the county's needs, and that involves a contract with VIA. And you might see some self-driving capacity within that very limited realm. I also think it is very unlikely. Okay. I do not think that VIA is going to pursue that because of the value of the vehicles and the ability to provide for a safe and secure environment. Remember, the number one security involved in most of our buses, for instance, is that driver and the trust that they have with the relationship with the folks that they're taking behind them. That's an intimate and important relationship. And most of our drivers do that in a very excellent way. And I'm very proud of their service. So I do think that there is a possibility of self-driving vehicles, but it is very, very unlikely within our system, maybe in a complementary aspect. There is another also, I've discussed this before with discussion of the tunnel design. For instance, I wanna talk. It is true that our existing system has some tunnels that we run in, and these tunnels are in somewhere between 100 and 125 years old. They are designed and done for a dynamic that is very different for what we are operating now. And it is true that since our original car purchases in the 1990s, actually 1993, in the series 1, 2, 3, and 4 series, that through our safety certifications and safety pilots with FTA, that we have seen that it makes sense for us to increase the buffer zone, okay? The buffer zone being a blank zone within a few of these tunnels. We are handling that through two different ways. We have lowered the, on a change order with our partners at Siemens Inc. On the air conditioning cowling that creates a little bit more space. Actually, just about 40 millimeters is all we needed, but we actually got a little bit more with that. And then also we have an existing contract on the Union Station tunnel repair. Very important that project is funded actually through FTA, through an infrastructure grant that we're moving through right now. And it gives us an opportunity to go ahead and increase some of these safety buffers within an existing project. So very important that I mentioned that within these existing partner projects, both the LRV and with the Union Station Tunnel project that we are not requiring any new funds. They are within project expenses, right? So the LRV project is roughly a $400 million project. We already have the funds in place for that project. It is a negotiated project, and we are working on that engineering as we will be throughout the next couple of years with the performance of the vehicles. There is an engineering team from Siemens, in fact, who is embedded, and our consultants, which are an engineering team known as Hatch LTK, and they are reviewing a lot of these different pieces of fundamental information. This includes what is known as a LiDAR review, so a laser assessment of all of these tunnels to be sure that these clear spaces are adequate and within these safety boundaries. Most importantly, we are increasing the safety of our system. When we can make these adjustments, when we already have a project in place, what we want to do is go ahead and increase those buffers. It just makes sense for us to do that. So that's part and parcel of a major infrastructure move, which includes nearly exactly 55 new light rail vehicles, which will arrive over several years. And we're in the testing portion of that, and that includes some of these adjustments that notes the question that has been brought up today. So I hope that adequately affects this. So there will be no effect to fare rates, no discernible effect to our overall operating budget. All of that is within our capital budget and is well managed. So I hope that answers all that question.
It did for me. Did anybody else have any concerns about that? About the rate, about the tunnels? Thank you for that update. It's really cleared up some matters.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Security. No one from security.
Commissioner?
Yes.
I'll step in for security really
Okay.
quickly. So some of the updates for Mr. Scott, he was unable to be here, so he apologizes. So with regard to the secure platform plan, I believe that was on the agenda.
Right.
That project continues to move forward. I do know that the project team will be doing site visits here shortly, so they're going to go out and ensure that that project at each of the locations is completed. With regard to security, I'm going to jump on and Captain Kelling, I'd like to give Captain Kelling a big shout out here for security. So he has collaborated with all of the contract policing organizations, so St. Clair County, St. Louis City, and also his team. And he has initiated a new campaign, which is called Riding Right. And I'm going to throw this back over to Captain Kelling to explain what that campaign looks like.
Thank you. So one of the things I've noticed in talking with the various special interest groups that ride, it's the same complaints. It's some of the nuisance behaviors, and those are the things we're trying to address. However, trying to ticket ourselves out of and arrest ourselves out of these situations, which has become sort of a norm than an exception, has been difficult. So we're looking at it from a different perspective. What I wanted to do is, again, reward those passengers that are doing the right thing. The ones that we see out there that are, minding by the ride and abide policies, the conduct and discipline that we have set forth, that are doing the right thing, providing them with, Director Webb was able to get us some tickets to give out for free fare. And we use those as golden tickets. There's only a small amount of those that we have, but we look for those opportunities when we see people that are doing the right thing, that are, if the train is crowded and they're getting up out of their seat to provide the chair to someone that has a disability or elderly or needs to sit down, we want to let them know that, we see them doing that. We appreciate their assistance because we all got to ride this together. So Director Webb has been coming up with some great signage to kind of go along with this campaign. We're also trying to get some assistance from the county health department, reference to, again, these smoking cessation programs, that maybe they could provide some information to passengers. Again, smoking continues to be the #1 complaint we get, people smoking on the train. So we're trying to correct the behavior and move forward.
Okay. Sounds like a good program. I think it's worth it. Let the people know that we're giving something back for their behavior. Good. Okay, any questions for security?
I think Tom had something.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tom.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just an update on the validator and TVM situation. So team members from Quality Mobile Installations are still in St. Louis this week. They're installing validators at our Metrolink stations and SPP packages 3 and 4 in Missouri and Illinois. The installers began on February 17th on the blue line at Shrewsbury Station and worked their way northward. This is being followed by the Metrolink red line installations in North County this week, plus 4 stations downtown, and then the remaining stations in St. Clair County. This latest round of Metrolink validator activity is planned to continue until Friday of this week. And Quality Mobile Installations, the vendor, will return to St. Louis a 3rd time to complete this task when all secure platform plan construction has been finished. More interestingly, the first ticket vending machines for our pilot program have been installed at 5 stations, and as he's put those pictures up for you, it's Civic Center, Cortex, and Union Station in Missouri, and the Jackie Joyner Kersey and Washington Park stations in Illinois. Now, these pilot TVMs will be used for field testing. They're not intended for public use yet, but they will be in the future. The field testing under the pilot program will include different groups of testers, beginning with Bi-State's own fare collection team, passenger revenue staff, our maintenance team members, ADA representatives, and then designated citizens later this month. Completion of the fare collection project is dependent on receipt of the remaining TVMs that will be arriving in sets beginning later in March, and completion of all secure platform plan work. So all of the Metrolink validators are already here at Bi-State. We're excited by the progress and that people can begin to see in the field what's coming. So if you have any questions, please let.
Okay. Any questions for the fare collection dish system? Okay. Well, we're on security and everything. That incident on the platform where the gentleman was put on the bench and was taken from from inside the gate to outside the gate. How has that been addressed, and has there been any additional training for our security team to address any incidents like that in the future?
I can comment on that, Chairman. So yes, a significant incident, and this is referring to an incident at Union Station in which sadly, it's not unusual for instance, us to have to move passengers who are drunk or otherwise inebriated in some way or off of pieces of the system. Quite frankly, most of the time, when we move them in that situation, it is to assist them, and it is necessary, for instance, and I have over 200 successful incidents of provisions of distributing Narcan and helping people in that circumstance. So it is very true that there are circumstances where we have to deal with individuals and so on. But sadly, in this case, we did have an individual which was taken off and was assisted onto a bench. And then subsequently, they did pass away, which was a very sad incident. And obviously, we wish it had not happened. The person verbally refused ambulance or 911 service. That is not unusual, we will do an after action report involving what our security teams have done. And based on that after action report, we actually are enhancing our training having to do with individuals who find themselves in this circumstance, so that we can do a better job of assisting people when necessary. But sadly, it is an incident that resulted in the death of an individual, not because of any physical altercation or anything. St. Louis Metropolitan Police did review the incident and found that our guards did not cause any harm to the individual, but it still is a very sad case and something that we can use to enhance or try to see where our training is. Are there some instances where we would enhance this? So for instance, in this case, that is specifically generated in an after action report, which we do. And we try to analyze what are the actions of our team and what we can do to do better to assist a customer in this circumstance. So that's where we are, Chairman.
So there will be some review of the training and changes if needed, correct?
Yes, sir. Actually, every single incident like these, it is not unusual for us to use video resources and so on. We have significant security teams, and they do a very, very good job, but we can always evolve and get better. I think our partners on the police side, they've given us really great examples of how they're constantly revising their training and seeing how we can deal with circumstances like this. So yes, we are changing some of our training associated with that level, and trying to see what is the best way for us to serve our customers.
Thank you. Any other questions on that incident? Okay. Thank you. Finance.
Good afternoon. So we are going to speak on our income statement through January. And so looking at actual to budget on the revenue side for passenger revenue, you can see we're up about 1.2 million. On sales tax for the city and the county, you can see we're running a little bit behind based on our comparison to budget. And I'll talk on that in just a minute. So basically when we budget, it's seasonal. So we try to budget based on what happened last year, but that doesn't always work out the same. So what we see here today, I think is primarily timing, because if we look at sales tax to date and collections, we're actually up by about 1.5% in fiscal year 2026. For St. Clair County, this is timing, just running behind about 1.4 million because they're contractual. Looking at some of our other funding related to where we are to budget, it's timing. Federal funding, we're up a little bit more than where we were to budget. Same way with state. So overall, we're at about 201 million compared to about 200 million for the budget. On the expense side, you can see that our actual to budget, we're actually running behind by about 2 million. So that line item, wages and benefits, also includes our medical. We're self-insured. And so that's primarily being impacted by our self-insurance and our medical side. Looking at the other items, we're primarily under budget, which is probably a good idea of timing, especially as it relates to services, because those are our contracts. So actual, we're at about 202.6 million compared to a $207 million budget year to date. So our loss to date is about 1.3 million to date. So we believe that that's primarily related to timing and how our revenues will come in. In addition, we are hoping that we're very excited to present our FY27 budget. We have gotten through that budget process for this year. What you'll see is we are maintaining that average growth of our operating costs of about 1.5%. But we hope to have that for you in the next meeting so we can start talking about our FY 2027 budget. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions right now on the finance?
Tammy, just a quick question with the state of Missouri and Illinois. It looks like last year was budgeted 8 and the prior year was 4.7 million. And then this year you budgeted 3.915 and actual is 2. So can you explain that a little bit? It looks really odd when you look at it.
Yeah, so as you know, we get in a percent, I think about 40% of what Missouri gives to us, but we don't always use it for operating. So that's why it may look a little bit strange related to the difference. So this is just focused on the operating budget and our expenses related to operations. But if we choose to use those funds, we can use those for capital projects also. And so in some cases, that's what we've done. We've kind of used it where we've needed to fill in the gaps.
That's helpful. Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions of finance? Could I ask the commission members that if you have any questions on the budget, could you jot them down, send them to Izzy so we can get them to Tammy so she can review them and let us know if we have any meat behind our questions. But let's see if any commission members have questions or concerns, let's jot them down and we can get them to Tammy. If that's okay. Thank you. Marketing communications.
Thank you, Commissioner. Really quickly, I know that we generally have that report that we turn in, and that's a little bit old. So I wanted to make sure that you were aware of the things that are going on currently. So our March Community Connect events were very successful last week. If you remember, they used to be held off property, which they were not attended. And now what we've done is we've placed them on property. So we had Community Connect events at our Civic Center, Wellston location, Riverview, and Emerson Park location. Our community really enjoys those. We are able to get out there, speak to our community, and also share different updates that are going on. We've been speaking quite a bit with regard to hiring at all of our Community Connects, also talking about all the next generation of transit. So we're covering Mr. Curran's project with our fare updates, and also Mr. Scott's project with the secure platform plan. So those have been well attended. When we have more coming, I will make sure that we get those dates to you all. We would love to have you there at any of those. Also, something that's really neat that we're doing this year and this month is that we have partnered up with the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child production with the Fox Theaters. So you'll see on our trains that we have advertised the production, and we're working in tandem and collaboratively with the Fox Theater. Captain Kelling talked about the Riding Right campaign. You're going to start to see that. We've also put flyers out and educational materials out on all of the trains. And then we're going to start our social media campaign in collaboration with all of those police public information offices. I have to do a quick shout out to CMT. They have a new initiative that we're working with them on, which is Make Your Move campaign. They continue to do their best to grow transit riders, so I'm super excited to see that campaign. We have also partnered, I know there was conversation several months back with regard to partnering with UMSL. So just so you know, we have partnered with UMSL. Our HR department has done a phenomenal job where they have collaborated with UMSL so that there's a tuition benefit for our employees. So we actually are now currently in production, and we're at the editing stage of a video where we're collaborating with UMSL. That will also be part of our HR campaign to do recruitment too. So a few other things that are on the horizon, just so you know, we've been selected to host actually Transit Unplugged, which is a very huge thing for us in the transit world. So we are now speaking with their production company. In fact, I'm meeting with them this week, and we're going to highlight everything that is amazing within our region that has to do with transit. So we're super excited about hosting that production. And the American Public Transportation Association is coming to St. Louis. Another really huge honor for the region that we will be hosting not only a conference this year, but also one in 2027. So I'll keep you posted on all those dates, and we'll make sure that Izzy has those dates for you to share. Does
Appreciate
anyone
that.
have any questions for me?
I got one. I don't know if it's to you or to Ron, but the fair required. How is that? Has that been effective, and how are riders or non-riders looking at it?
Well, it certainly feels effective to the operators. They feel like, that fare required sign is the company standing behind them in the fare collection process. So, they have nothing but good things to say about it. We haven't collected any data on it, but just anecdotally speaking, it has been effective. The operators, they find themselves in fewer positions where they have to challenge for fare. They're not being held responsible for having to state the fare because it's a company policy. It's on our vehicles, and everybody sees it. So, the operators love it.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. Roach, you got something to add?
I do not. I think I'm very, Tom stole my thunder with showing those new TVMs. It was very exciting. I have pictures of those new TVMs next to pictures of my grandchildren. So I will just tell you, very exciting to get those. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Anyone else have anything to add to this meeting? Okay, the next meeting is scheduled for April, let me get the right date, April the 13th, 4 o'clock. Right now, it'll still be a video conference, but see, next month or two, we're going to try to get out and meet in public. And maybe that will be after the next presentation of the budget. So maybe we'll be looking at May or June for a public meeting just to review the budget and have some questions on the budget preparation. But right now, the meeting will be April the 13th, 2026. Okay, hearing none, do I have a
Mr.
motion?
Chair.
Yes.
Chair, can you hear me? Just to
Yes, I
clarify, all
can.
your meetings are public. All your meetings
Oh,
are
yeah, I'm sorry.
public. This would be
Yeah.
in person you meet.
Yeah, yes,
Right.
I'm sorry. Thank you. If
Thank
it goes
you.
on like that, everybody be calling my house. Okay, yeah, in person, but we will have a video conference of it. Okay, thank you. Do I hear a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Do I hear a second? We can be here all night.
Second Melville, or sorry,
Okay.
second McKelvey, sorry.
All right, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Thank you. I would get with Izzy later. I meant to tell her that somebody called in, but thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Goodbye.